And I picked it up and started reading it, and it was 7:30 at night. I was supposed to be home for dinner, and I didn't stop until around 9. And I just remembered loving the kind of irreverent but and kind of, I don't know, rebellious tone of it that was also very optimistic. It reminded me of films like Harold and Maude and films from the 70s that I'd always liked. But he comes to an actual epiphany. He comes to a realization that it's dangerous. You know, kids can get hurt, and those drugs aren't right for everybody. And you certainly shouldn't be handing them out, you know, without years and years of education. One of the things I love about the film is that device of Charlie decides the right place for some reason to have these sessions is in the boys' bathroom, but it's not unlike, you know, a confessional or a you know, or you know, the doctor sitting at the end of a couch and not, you can't see what he's thinking, and you just lay there and talk about it. So it's sort of tongue in cheek, but it's pretty practical too. Anton, when you watch him and see him thinking through issues and facing dilemmas about what's the right way to go and how can I be helpful, how can I be popular, choosing to courses of action that are selfish versus, you know, somehow wise. I think the audience goes with it because he's so compelling, and you see a lot of earnestness and a kind of nobleness and a wisdom in there somewhere, even though he's making a lot of really stupid choices along the way. And I think you have even more compassion for that character because you know Robert Downey Jr. himself, the actor, has battled a lot of those same demons and won. You know, is actually a very functional, incredibly funny, cool, totally self-examined person. I find it really enjoyable to watch and kind of experience it on all those layers. I think what's great about Charlie is he shows up as a complete fish out of water with his blazer and his private school, you know, all the prejudices that the kids must have about him. And instead of succumbing to it and following everybody else's rules about what's cool, he finds his own way. And he's sort of been doing that throughout his life. But this is a particularly tricky position he's thrown into because he's kind of at the last stop in a series of expulsions and suspensions and just total dysfunctional trips through school. This is probably his last chance. But he finds his own way to connect to the kids. It starts off being somewhat misguided, but ends up being a very effective way because he's a great listener. And he ultimately invents what's cool. He sets his own standards for what's cool, and then he is that. And all the other kids who've been busy chasing some generic sense of what's cool see something completely, genuinely compelling about him and decide, oh, that guy's cool. When you start to realize, oh my God, this kid is taking this strategy that these adults are using completely ineffectively on him, and he's using it effectively in some weird way on these kids, and you're conflicted because you know it's wrong, but you also know he's actually making a connection. And that's when you're in. That's when the film takes off because you're like, oh, this is bad, but it's kind of good. How's this going to work out?